You're now listening to Sound Talent Media. Check out more shows at soundtalentmedia.com.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Skims or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and for shoppers buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. It's home of ShopPay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/income.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The empty seat. Who was actually just that? An empty chair in your office because you couldn't find someone to fill it. So it just sat there costing you money with all its fancy ergonomic features. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can make it easy to fill that seat with the right candidate. With nearly 60% of businesses finding someone to interview in the first week alone. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
This summer, soccer is here, and so are the watch parties. And Uber Eats has your game day essentials covered with 30% off orders from Aldi, Kroger, and Dollar General. Everything you need to keep your crowd happy, delivered straight to your door. Chips, dips, fresh ingredients, and more. Order in so you can lock in for the games. 30% off your grocery order, only on Uber Eats for a limited time.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast, or welcome to the podcast if this is your first time. I really appreciate having you. Today, I am talking to Ron Jackson. Ron Jackson hosts one of the coolest shows on the internet. No, I am not exaggerating. As longtime listeners probably know, I don't tend to fall down YouTube rabbit holes very often. Usually, I use it like an old man. I go there, I find the how to fix my dresser drawer, and I move on from there. But not with this show. Not with this show. I'm talking about Musora's Covers on the Spot. Now, admittedly, I clicked on this because I had some homies do a few episodes. But wow, it is incredible. If you like seeing musicians perform in a bit of a pressure cooker, in a really lighthearted but intense situation where they are covering something completely outside their genre, but having to make it their own, and they really only have the one recording session to do it. Oh, man, it is incredible. And Ron is the host of this, and he helps orchestrate it and put it all together and organizes the bands and all kinds of different stuff. It's a big, big job, and he's a great host of the show, and he makes some really, really excellent choices for who gets on the show and what covers they're going to do. It's one of my favorite things on the internet, and I think you as a musician, or most likely a musician who's listening to this show, will really, really appreciate it. And I wanted to get the story. So let's get the story straight from Ron himself. Here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Tone Mob Podcast, a show about guitar stuff, occasionally, sometimes. I'm your host, Blake Weiland. With me today, I have Ron Jackson from Musora. Woo. Dude, you're producing some of my very favorite content right now. I want to know all of the details. I know about Musora as a company and like the education and stuff that you guys do. But, and I've paid attention to a lot of the Drumeo content. Like I think a lot of people have.
Yeah.
But this new stuff, I think it's new-ish
Yeah.
that you've been doing, is blowing my mind with the people you're getting in and what they're pulling off. So let's get into your story, and we'll dive into the whole tale. When did you get obsessed with music?
Well, I had an early love for music that sort of took a back seat for many years. So you are correct. I've only been actually with the company Musora since really we started pushing that overarching brand. It started as Drumeo.
Yep.
A lot of people know it as Drumeo. And then we just got into all the instruments. So Musora was kind of the natural thing. But before that, I was a teacher, and I actually taught English and musical theater and some music. And before that, I was like a jazz band kid. So I've had early exposure to music. But then, you get busy, and I took the road to teaching and, taught a little bit of music, but didn't immerse myself in it until I got the call from my good friend Jared, who's the owner of Drumeo and now Musora, and ended up coming over here and getting to revisit that part of my past, which has been just amazing.
So I guess this might sound like a little bit of a weird question, but why did he call the English teacher?
I know, right? Well, it's really funny because I've been friends with Jared since the beginning, when Drumeo was less than 10 people. I think there was 9 people working here. My wife has been here for 10 years. So, and she's done a number of different jobs, from customer service to now she's doing graphic design. She designs all the thumbnails. So if you ever see Drumeo thumbnail or Musora thumbnail, it's been done by my wife, which is kind of fun. But yeah, I always was involved with music, and it's actually this is a really funny story, but when I decided to become a teacher, I wanted to teach just my undergrad and everything. I had done a lot of drama and theater, and I wanted to do this theater course. And I had signed up for this course, and I couldn't figure out, because I had friends who were also in theater who were ahead of me in seniority. And I couldn't figure out why this position didn't get filled. And I was like, well, sure, I'll do this musical theater job, of course. And then I remember walking into the school, and then the guy who was teaching it with me passed me the orchestration. He's like, okay, here's all the music. And I was like, oh, I'm teaching the music part of it. Oh, crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I was thrown into the fire. I played piano for years. And like every kid who is forced to play piano, I'm like, I want to play guitar. I don't want to play this, and I distanced myself as much as I could from it, forgot a lot of my theory. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I need this all again. So I spent a month just poring over music theory, trying to remember everything, trying to remember how to read music notation. I played jazz bass in high school and middle school, and almost did a musical career. And just through weird circumstances, I actually play in a band now with one of my friends who I was going to go to music school with, but he broke up with his girlfriend, and then I lost my roommate, and I diverted to theater, and it ended up not being music school. And so it's a complicated weaving, but yeah, I think Jared just knew I was good at presenting. He'd seen me do a lot of theater, and I think there's actually a lot in common with what I do, particularly for my job, in terms of booking bands and being highly organized and producing content and running a team and having a crew, with all that and a background in music that is pretty applicable to the actual what the job is.
Yeah.
So I'm not an expert musician like Brandon, who operates the Drumeo channel. But I have dipped my toes in every instrument except drums until recently. I don't know if you saw that Drumeo episode where those guys messed with me and made me learn drums on the spot.
I didn't see that one, no.
Okay, yeah, that's literally the only instrument I've had zero experience in, and it was very funny. So you can watch that if you want later.
I'm going to have to question you on your didgeridoo skills now.
Oh my gosh, dude, I'm so bad. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's such a cool pivot. And I love hearing about people who didn't start in music. A lot of the people that come on this show kind of did. A lot of I started playing when I was 12, and then I knew that's what I wanted to do. And then I was in a touring band. with the exception of maybe some of the like the gear company people, like most of the musicians that come on have a version of that story, and because it takes so long, typically speaking, to get a career going in music, it's only the people that really stuck with it. But I love hearing people who later in life come back to it, because that's what I did. And
Really?
Yeah, well, I didn't ever think I was going to be in, I mean, like, it almost feels weird to say I'm in the music industry, but when I zoom out, that is what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I never thought I was going to be in the music industry, even though I was crazy passionate about guitar and music and everything. The listeners have heard this a million times. I was like, I don't want to tour. I don't want to do that. Like, I like recording, I like writing, I like playing with a band, but like all that stuff around touring, I knew I was like, no. I don't even like road trips. Like,
yeah, hey. And it is weird too when you like think of yourself, and you know, people will ask, "Are you a musician?" And it's like, okay, well, where is that boundary?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when does that begin and end? I'm the same way as you. You know, I have a family, and I'm very blessed to have this job. I adore this job. I get to meet some of my favorite musicians and work with them and watch them write, and like that obviously has rubbed off on me. Like, I play bass guitar. Well, I just ended up moving, but I try to play every day.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm a real nerd about getting into that scene all over again. But yeah, I think it's cool to live in the world we do now, where music can be accessible and you can share it without necessarily having to tour, you know?
Yeah. And I try to emphasize this too, because even when the internet was less of a thing, there was still this idea that I think most people had, that if you weren't the person on stage, there wasn't a job for you. But that's not really true. There are lots of jobs in the music industry, varying degrees of pay, of course, but but there are lots of options should you want to stay close to it, from, you know, working or owning a music store, to working in a gear brand, to running sound, to like fixing gear. Like, there's all kinds of different ways you can stay connected to music if that's really what you want to do, without having to be the person up there on stage, because that's not for everybody.
No, for sure not. And I think it's, you get a unique perspective when, I mean, I'm surrounded by people. Everyone here at this company is like, it's such a fun place to work if you love music, and like the whole package, not just the performing part of it, but like there's such talented techs that we have here too. They're just like brilliant people who know, like, if you ever get a chance to come out here, we have like a warehouse with like 85 drum kits. It's like crazy. And we've got this guy named Tyson. So shout out to Tyson. And he does a lot of our back end, like hooking up people with backline and stuff. And like, just hearing that guy talk about the drums is so fun.
Yeah. It's fun to get into any of that stuff, because like that tends to be who's attracted to it, right? Regardless of which section you go into, you're probably going to be working most likely with fellow music nerds. I can count on one hand the amount of people in the gear industry that I've met that didn't play and didn't have a background somewhere in music. And I mean, that's just so rare. It's just not really a path you're going to forge if you don't have an interest somewhere, somehow in it. It's probably because it's too difficult. And like, if you want to chase dollars, there's better ways to chase dollars than the music industry, for sure.
For sure, especially now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. So let's talk about, like, obviously the Drumeo thing. I think most people know like that type of content at this point. The channel's exploded in the last
crazy,
like 5 years, especially. I think it was always a thing.
COVID, man.
Yeah,
it was COVID.
Really,
people binging, sitting at home, picking up hobbies that they could do in their house. Yeah, it went nuts.
Yep. But the pivot to the more general Musora brand and diversifying the content, like, when did that start, and what was the thought process behind all this?
Yeah, so it started earlier than I would say we even had the Musora name. We were already doing Pianote, which is another YouTube channel, very similar to Drumeo, but for the piano. Then we did Guitario, and now we just recently started play bass, and then we have Singyo as well. But I guess the thinking was that, Drumeo made so many relationships with great drummers, and a lot of those drummers would say things like, this would be sick to come back sometime, and I think the band would be like really into this. And we didn't really have a place for that to go. And I think, as far as Drumeo goes, the thing that's made it special is it's a place for drummers. So I don't think we really wanted to like necessarily change that. We want it to be like the space where, the lead singer is usually the one who gets all the attention. And these drummers are musicians too. And like, let's put a spotlight on what they do. And so Musora was a cool opportunity once we were doing all the instruments to be like, let's start doing band content. And one of the things I was tasked with, and I can't take all the credit for this, there's a lot of people that had input and like helped me figure out what this was going to be. But one of the things was Drumeo became like this viral YouTube sensation. And like for the viewers who don't know, like our primary thing is actually music lessons. Like we're not just a media brand. Like that's actually a pretty small branch of Musora. Like we do a lot of stuff and we're constantly busy. But some people don't even know that there's like an app.
Really? Okay.
So it's interesting. Like it just depends on who you meet. Like I go to shows with Brandon all the time, and he's always like backstage with some of the biggest drummers in the world. And people will be like, "Oh, Drumeo guy," and then like they'll just like reference the YouTube channel, but they don't necessarily know that there's a lesson app, which is a good problem to have. Like if your YouTube channel is that big that people don't even know the thing, like you're doing something right. But anyways, the Musora channel, they have this viral format called Here's a Song, or Drumeo does. And the drummer comes in with a drumless track and invents their own part. And it's like, okay, like part of the hook of that is that they try to find a song that the drummer's never heard, and they go through a huge list, and it takes forever. But they eventually, you miss all that in the episode. Some people like call them out like, oh, the drummer's never heard that, blah, blah, blah.
I'll be honest. I think I've mentioned that before on the show. I'm like, are you sure he's never heard it? Yeah.
I'll tell you this. This is a little behind the scenes information. There's only actually 2 who I'm super suspicious of, and I won't say them.
We'll talk about that off the air.
Yeah, sure. I'm like, I don't know, bro. Like I talked to Brandon. I'm like, what do you think? And he's like, yeah, it might have been.
I wonder if they're the same ones that I'm suspicious of. That's what I'm curious about. We'll compare notes. Yeah.
But truly, like, what do you do if someone just like straight up lies, right?
I'm not gonna. I mean, you're gonna be like, get out of here.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you my favorite moment. Okay. The very first video we did that blew up was with a jazz drummer named Ulysses Owens Jr. And him and his band did Heart-Shaped Box, and they turned it into jazz.
I remember this.
And the only reason he kind of guessed that it was Nirvana was that they had given him a Nirvana track when he was out for Drumeo. And he really just like, he's in the jazz world. Like you ask that guy anything about jazz, he knows. Like I don't even go there because he just knows infinitely more than I do about the jazz world. But he really didn't know Nirvana. He really didn't have any real understanding about grunge and that scene. But the funniest thing was like after the shoot, and I wish the camera was rolling because he's like, yeah, dude, that song kind of reminds me of Breaking Benjamin. And I'm like, he knew Breaking Benjamin, but he didn't know Nirvana.
How old is he?
Like it just
roughly?
He's got to be in his early 40s, I would say.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I'm like
mid 40s.
I wonder how this how did that reach you? But not.
It's just spheres of music, man. Like the world is so much bigger and smaller than we know. It's like you get in a corner of the world. I deal with it all the time. Like I get caught like not knowing some niche thing, and it's like, well, I just didn't know. And
ask me about jazz, I'm gonna be like, I know Miles Davis. Like
totally.
I don't go super deep into that, but meanwhile, some of my friends do, and I like it when I listen to it, but it's just I'm like, but I got a new doom metal band I got to listen to right now. There's so much. Yeah.
And my first month here, it's like hanging out with Brandon and those Drumeo guys. They're like talking about, I don't know, random drummer from random classic band. And it's just like, and they all know, because they're like, they know every single drummer, like ever.
You've
And
never heard of
totally
Merv Johnson? No, I don't know Merv Johnson.
Yes. But my scene is like very different. It's like, I think actually in listening to your podcast, I think you and I have very similar taste in music.
It's part of why I wanted to get you on here, because some of the bands you've been bringing on, I'm like,
yes.
We'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But well, let's talk about, like, for the people that don't know, we're talking about this all as if everyone listening knows exactly what we're talking about when we're like, this great content. Yeah.
Of course.
So let's talk about when you're bringing the bands in. What does this look like, and then we can kind of talk about things from there a little bit. So what's the concept? It's basically this band is going to do a song in their style, essentially, but it's usually something from a completely different genre. Basically, that's the nutshell version, right?
That is. Mm-hmm. I got off track there, but Here's a Song was really impossible for me to adopt. I still want to do it where I like get a full band and like they all have a different mix in their ear with their instrument minus. Mm-hmm. And then they like that's a whole different thing that I think would be cool. But to find a song that 5 people haven't heard is pretty tough. Yeah. So to make it hooky for YouTube, we went the road of let's put them on the spot with a song that is iconic enough that the audience will like be able to hold that in their head and like kind of frame the references. But I want the band to put it in their own style. So the idea is like, I often compare us to like, or I get compared to like Triple J. I don't know if you're aware of them.
No.
They do really cool covers. It's like an Australian, I think it's a radio show that's kind of like turned into a YouTube channel.
Okay.
And their thing is they like let bands pick their covers. I think they have like a list that they have at the beginning of the year, and the band like either like picks one or like randomly gets dealt one, but they have time to like go prepare it. And there's more like, why'd you pick that? That's like a part of it.
Okay.
And those covers like are really good. But my show is like not really about that. It's more like, I like to think it's more like put the band under pressure, put them in a pressure cooker and like see what rises to the top. Mm-hmm. You know, like from the bands, like what is the thing that makes them them? And I especially like watching like people in a room have to work under pressure. It's so fun, man. It's like, I wish I had the budget and the time to release like every episode uncut, because it's so cool. Unfortunately, we have to release like a highlight reel.
Of course.
But that's kind of what the show is. Take an iconic song, turn it into their style. And we watch how the band communicates and how they write. And then at the end, they perform the song. And I asked them, like, how close do you think you got to what you want your band to sound like, or what you think your band sounds like? And those numbers range. And I think that's actually cool. Like, I'm happy if the band doesn't do something perfectly like them. They have a moment at the end of the episode to say, like, we got 5 out of 10, you know, or like some bands are like, I'm going to play this at the show next night. And they do.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. There's been some bangers lately. You know, we talked about this a little bit before we started recording, but you just had Emily Wolfe on, who's a Tone Mob alumni multiple times. I don't even know. She's been on three or 4 times now. I don't know.
So sick.
But I know she's good. I know. I don't know what I expected exactly, but whatever it was, I was like mentally underselling it, because when she did the Billie Eilish cover, I was like, of course this is what it sounds like, but I was still blown away somehow. It was so freaking good. Like, I encourage everybody listening to this right now to go check that out, because it was like I texted her and everybody else I knew that liked her music and was like, you've got to listen to this right now. This is so good.
So cool. Yeah. So cool.
Just slammed it. Just absolutely slammed it. The Archspire one blew me away too.
That's crazy.
But I mean, I don't know what those guys do. Everything they do blows. I can't make any sense out of how they make music. It's incredibly difficult for my brain.
And they're so funny too. Like they have like the best attitude about it. I've wanted to like give a song not that like it turned into a meme, but it was like they were very tongue in cheek about the whole process.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they had such a good attitude about it. I was like, okay, if I'm gonna like throw a real curveball at a band, I'm gonna throw it at these guys and just see what they do. And they just took it and ran with it and had the best attitude and just crushed it. It was so cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's been really cool. So I guess that will lead into, maybe our mutual band enjoyment discussion a little bit, but like what do you look for? Are you just kind of looking for anybody that you think can pull it off, or do you get to inject your personal taste in there a little more frequently?
Well, this is a tough conversation. Okay, I'll say this. When I started out, one of the most challenging things to do was to just do this format, because everyone was like very excited about the idea of getting bands. And then they're like, all right, Ron, and go. And it's like, okay, like, can I fly bands out? No. Oh, okay. Like, what?
And
how
where
am
are
I going to
you?
make this work? I'm in Vancouver.
Okay.
Yeah, or just outside. Like, it's a small town called Abbotsford. It's about an hour from the Vancouver airport. It feels like the middle of nowhere. Like, Chad Smith was famously like, where are you taking me? Like, it's just insane. But yeah, we're out in the middle of nowhere, close to Vancouver. Lost my train of thought. Where were we going with that?
How do you get them? Yep.
Yeah. So the basic format is like they got to be traveling through Vancouver and they have to have a day off, because I've done it with, I think 2 bands have done it on the same day as a show.
It's rough.
And it just is not a good idea. The atmosphere is different. They're like saving themselves for the show. They're like, they feel like we don't have time to be creative. It's just like a different energy, and I hate that, generally speaking.
It's sometimes hard to pull off a podcast the day of a show, let alone something like what you're doing.
Totally. Especially like you're wasting your voice. Like there's a difference, I think, between like doing your concert and like going through your song list versus singing the same line over and over again. And like, it's almost like you're wearing grooves on the same road.
Yeah.
In some sense, So yeah, I generally try and get bands that are coming through. There is exceptions. Sometimes, there's a couple bands that have been like, hey, we want to come do this. We're going to fly out. We're going to book a show in Vancouver. That'll pay for the flights and we'll do the show. And it's like, oh, hell yeah. That's
sweet.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's getting more and more attention, which is really fun. But yeah, generally speaking, when it comes to picking bands, I have to toe this line between like, obviously, I think even our viewers, like they see the kind of t-shirts I wear and they're starting to guess like what my tastes are. And, it's a little different than kind of what's happened on the Drumeo channel, but I think that's cool. There's a lot of bands from that era.
I think we can just say special. It's we're ex Warped Tour kids, aren't we? Like that's the vibe.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
That's the next wave. So I feel like very passionate about that scene. But then I would say the other thing I look for is just like variety. Like Archspire versus Rosé and Bruno Mars is like the perfect clickable combo. So I want to make a show that's appealing to both artists, so they feel like they could come on here and do something that like honors their craft and like they feel proud about. But I also want to do like these viral kind of like, what the hell is that going to sound like type videos. So it's a constant balance between those worlds. And then like 9 out of 10 bands that I reach out to, they're like, sounds cool, but not going to work this time. Just scheduling or even just like, to be honest, getting put on the spot. Like it's very intimidating. I applaud every single band that does it because it's scary. And I fully believe in the process. I have never had an episode where I'm like, that sucked. So,
I watch it all because I watch all these things and I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. Like in that, I could do it, but I'm gonna need like a full day at least.
Yes. Yes.
But the way that they're able to produce this in the pressure cooker, and it always sounds, and then kudos to the team as well, because it's also always mixed really well. It sounds really great. You know, the camera's changing at the right time. The production's really, really high quality. So I can tell how much work goes into these things from the crew side too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And shout out to our production team. Like, one of the first things they begged me to do was they're like, can we please do an ISO booth for the singer, like the vocalist? Because like balancing those drums in that mic is going to be a real bitch, especially like we can't really tune all that much when it comes to vocals, because there's a lot of bleed from those cymbals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I am kind of like, I want the vibe. I want to feel like you're in a practice session, like you're in the room with the guys. And I just thought like an ISO booth would change that. So they really fought me on that. And I was really like, guys, I just want this show to feel this way. And they conceded, and they are so good. Like, our mixing team is so good.
Yeah.
I love them all. They all have a different style. It's really fun working with them. You know, there's a couple guys who are like more into like the punk rock scene. And then there's some guys who do really well with the jazz stuff. And it's a great place to work.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool that you guys have had the ability to enable all these creatives too, because as much as we were talking about, there's lots of jobs in the music industry, you know, more is better. So like,
right.
And giving all these people different projects to work on. And this is a pretty unique thing to get to do, and a unique challenge, and something that looks good on any project portfolio. You know, it's really a cool, I really admire the whole business that you guys have put together.
Yeah, it's surprisingly large too. Like, there's like 150 people that work here, and like the whole like media department is one thing, and like I feel so blessed to be there because it's very fun. And like, I know the mixing guys, like they love mixing Musora content, but those guys like grind. Like, we did, I think like over 1,000 lessons last year. Like, wow. And they're mixing all that stuff too. Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then here's me like, hey man, like I really need this mix by this day. And they're like, I got all these lessons I got to get through. So it's like, they're so busy. Everyone works so hard, but it's all because we love music so much. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, we want to make more musicians. So
yeah, of course. Yeah, the more the better, because then we get more music, more content, more videos, more fun stuff to enjoy. Yeah. But kind of taking a step back a little bit, because you know we're both like the ex Warped Tour kids, like going back to the high school and early 20s time, like you were deep in that scene.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
That
same scene as you. I know you're a big Thrice fan, dude.
Oh, those are my
That's
boys.
My jam.
There's my boy.
Check out what I wore today, man. This is like,
yeah.
This is Alchemy Index. This is the first tour I was able to drive myself to.
I'm a big enough nerd that I recognize that shirt. That's
yes, dude. This is actually I had a child's body when I bought this, and now I'm like filled out. I'm more of a man, and so it's like way too small on me. It's like my wife has claimed it as her pajama shirt, but I stole it. So
yeah, I like it. Yeah, I don't know if I can make the camera. This is great for the audio listeners, but
okay.
See if I can make the camera go. There we go. Farewell tour flag hanging up in the shred shed. Yes.
So sick, dude.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's also not true.
I was so glad that it wasn't true. I was very sad. And I'm especially glad it's not true because after that tour is when I got to know those guys. So that's
amazing.
Yeah, we get to I try not to make it too weird, but it's like I get to hang with them every time they come to Portland, and I'm like, 16-year-old me would really be surprised by this situation at this moment.
Dude, it's so hard because you're like, I don't know. This is actually something I wanted to talk to you about a little bit.
Let's do it.
Like as the host of a show, like it's so funny because like I see these musicians who are like phenomenal. Like obviously, like when Chad Smith walks by your desk, and like anyone else that comes through drumming, Mike Portnoy or any of these like titans, it's like, oh, that like very cool. Like obviously, like pleasure to meet you, and I'm totally cool as a cucumber. But like I had Thursday coming to do a Musora shoot, and I was like just trembling. And you feel so bad because you don't want to be like you don't want to be a fan. You want them to feel like you're there to do work together, and like you don't want them to be like feeling like they're putting on a concert, like I want them to feel comfortable, like asking me, can you get me a different whatever, like I'm having trouble with my pedal or whatever. You don't want them to be like, oh, like that guy's just like fanning out over there. But how do you deal with that? Like, do you find it challenging to talk to people that you've been a big fan of?
I don't know if I would ever say challenging. I think after doing it enough times that it has become less weird in general. Like it and just really, and this is going to sound kind of weird, but as a big fan of anything, even if you logically know these are just people just like you, don't be weird. Like you still, because you admire their work so much, you kind of put them up here on a little pedestal. Even though logically you probably shouldn't. But once you hang out and eat chips and pizza with somebody a few times, it kind of helps bring it back to reality. You're like, no, really, these are just dudes that are. I think one big one for me, the first time I ever got to like interview somebody that was a musical hero of mine was Brian Fallon. This is almost a decade ago.
Amazing dude.
Such a good dude. Really, we got to know him pretty well over the years, and he's a huge gear nerd. So, I got one of his guitars here. Like, he's a great guy.
Good bro with Emily Wolfe as well.
Yes, exactly. And so, but it was, how did that work out? Somehow we got hooked up, and we ended up, when they came through Portland, my wife and I, who's also a big fan, and we ended up on the bus afterwards. Just chilling. Just like, he knew I did like the podcast and everything, but we weren't doing anything. We were just hanging out. And so I got to kind of just hang with the band. And we got all done and left for the night. And my wife was like, those guys are exactly like you. Like, you guys are talking about all the same stuff that like she doesn't know or know about how Pelham blue will fade to a green on a vintage ES335. She's like not interested in that. It's not her thing.
Sure.
And I kind of was like, they are just like me. I mean, maybe a more talented version of me, but still like same mentality and interests in a lot of ways. And then hanging with those guys more, they were like I said, the first band that I was like really, really into that I got to spend a lot of time with. And that, I think, helped inform things moving forward. So by the time I was doing a Tepe interview, I was a little bit more professional, slightly more professional. And I think it's reps. So like now at this point, I'm like, I still like feel that pinch me. Like, wow, I can't believe I'm getting to talk to this person. That will never not be exciting. But I think it is reps. It's just like, okay, after a while, you kind of, I don't want to say get used to it because you don't fully get used to it, but your professionalism does take over a little bit. But I'm not afraid to be like, I'm a huge fan, just so you know. Like I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm Joe Cool and I can't name all of your albums front to back because I can, like I try not to be a punisher though. At the same time, I'm sure you've heard that term at some point, a punisher.
No, explain it to me.
It's something that I've heard from different bands where the best way I can explain it is there's a Chris Farley sketch. This is really dating me right now. This is where we're
probably like the same age.
Yeah, he's interviewing like like Paul McCartney. He's interviewing him, and he's like, "Hey, do you remember when you were in that band, the Beatles? That was awesome." And those people, like, as much as that was a sketch, like that does exist where people kind of get, and they call them punishers because they corner their hero. And they make it, and the heroes try, and I hate to keep using that term, but like, I don't know what else to say. Like this artist that somebody really admires, and they're cornered and they're stuck, and they're not quite taking the hint that it's time to leave.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's the worst, man.
Yeah. And it happens a lot to artists because, of all the reasons we just stated, people really admire their work. And I know that they're not any different than us. If somebody tells you that they appreciate the thing you did, everyone likes that. Like, everyone, so I kind of have like tried to walk that line. Like, I'm a huge fan of your band. I appreciate you taking the time to do this. Let's get into the interview. Like I just kind of, or I'll say it in the interview sometimes. So I hope I never come across as punishing. I really don't want to be. But
yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, I kind of compare it, even like I was a teacher for like almost a decade. And, you have students that like really, like they remember you as their grade 12 teacher, or their like grade 11 English teacher, or you taught me orchestra, or whatever it is. And you stand out in their head as like the guy. Whereas I had like 30 of them, and multiply that by 4 courses on a year. And it's like, I've almost taught like over 2,000 kids. And it's like, yeah, of course I had like moments with each of them and it was special, but it's just like the number is astounding. And then you meet them and then they're like, hey, Mr. Jackson, do you remember me? Or I see them like in YouTube comments and stuff. And I'm like, I remember your face, but I don't remember your name. And you feel so bad. And they want to like praise you for like all the things you did. And you're like, oh, like, I don't even remember saying that to you, but like that had a huge impact. Like there's a lot of responsibility when you're a teacher. And I think probably the same thing happens with artists, like fans coming up to them and just being like, yo, like this song got me through this and this. And you're just like, that's awesome. I love that. But like, I don't know what to give back to you in this moment,
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sure it's very, very similar. It has to be. And it's interesting. I always wonder about an old teacher of mine, because it wasn't a music teacher. I never really resonated with any of the school music programs, as you can imagine. I was like, there's no way to mosh to this. But I had an English teacher, of all things, that was probably one of the first people that I showed my music to that wasn't like a family member or a very close friend or somebody my own age. And it was because I was reading a certain book, and it's called Our Band Could Be Your Life. I've talked about it a few times on the show. But
cool.
Really great book about like the early stages of the punk scene. And it goes through all these different bands. And I actually like read about a bunch of bands before I heard them. One of them in particular was Black Flag.
Oh.
And I was reading about them going like, wow, well, this sounds really cool. But I'm 14 or 15. I'm in the 2000s. I wasn't around for this. And I was doing a book report. So I told my teacher I was doing this book, and he's like, "Oh, you're into Black Flag?" I'm like, "I actually don't know them." And it was pre-phone. So I couldn't just pull it up, and I didn't really have very good internet at my house or the knowledge of how to find these things very easily. And he's like, "Well, let me get you some Black Flag." And so he got me some early records, and then that gave me the like, oh, this guy's a cool teacher. So I'm like, I'm gonna show him the songs I've been working on, and he was like, really, I'm sure they were not very good, but he was very encouraging of it, even though like the subject matter was like more adult than it should have been.
Sure.
I was writing about experiences I never had, and he was like, as your teacher, I'm probably not supposed to say that this is okay, but he's like, but I think you're doing some cool stuff here. And I was like, oh, outside validation. I need that, apparently. Yeah. So Mr. McDonald, I don't know if he's ever heard me shout him out before, but Mr. McDonald was a big inspiration in a lot of ways. So the teachers have a big impact, and I honestly don't know if he would even remember that. I don't look the same. I barely sound the same. I have no idea if he'd remember me or not. But as a teacher, can have a really big impact. Not all of them do to everybody, but I think all of them do to somebody at some point.
Well, I think the cool thing there was he recognized like immediately the thing you needed to explore in your life, and he just like leaned into that and provided a road for you. He probably had a bigger impact than you might even know. Like that might have been the start for you.
It made me think I could write songs, or at least try to, and that's
so cool,
super important for me. Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
So do you have like it's funny you mentioned you have students in the comments and
Yeah, once in a while, especially TikTok. The videos on TikTok, they're like, "What's up, Mr. J? Like, what are you doing? Are you a TikToker now?" It's very funny.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. That's crazy.
Cool.
It's funny having things from your I guess you like your past career. I was about to say past life, but past career.
It was a life.
Yeah, come back and still be there in some ways. I think about all the stuff I was doing to try to get this show off the ground, and I'm just glad I had a cool boss who didn't know what I was doing, but
I'm kind of in the same boat some days. He's like, "What the hell who are you booking today?" Yeah, it's pretty fun.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, man. Cool.
So what about your own musical stuff? So you play bass, obviously. You said you started off the air. We talked about like you're starting to get more into the gear world. So what form is that taking for you currently?
Well, this is like, I'm nervous to say this because it's going to out me as a super fan, but like obviously my favorite band is Thrice. Your favorite band is Thrice.
Yes.
The Gibson Grabber, dude.
Oh man.
I bought one.
You did? I almost bought one a couple weeks ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
Not the new Epiphone release, right?
No, it was a 77 that I thought was the Epiphone for a second because it was so clean.
Oh, shit.
It was at Mark's Guitar Shop in Spokane.
Dude. Oh, was it on Reverb?
It might be. I don't know. I posted it.
Okay, I saw a very clean Grabber on Reverb, and I was like, "Oh, damn, this looks good. I wish I could buy two." But we might be thinking of the same one.
Yeah, I was there in the shop, and I was like, "Is that a reissue?" No, it's not. It says Gibson on it. He's like, "No, that's a 77." I was like, "No, bull." I still am thinking about it. This is bad. Father's Day's coming. Maybe I can justify it that way.
There you go. Do you have kids?
I do. I have two kids. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely interrupts the practicing, hey?
I'm a little spoiled. I have this space, so
okay.
I don't get interrupted too much. If like Daddy's out in the shed and the sign, I've got a recording sign outside. It's flipped.
Oh, I like that.
Everybody leaves me alone for the most part.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to implement this. This is a good strategy.
Yeah, my own dad, he made me. It's like there's a sign that says Shred Shed, and you flip it over, whip, and it says recording, and so
that's sick.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah, I love the idea of like having somewhere that's like separate from your house but still accessible from home. I think that's like probably the healthiest place to do something artistic.
It's a dream come true. Everybody asks me what my favorite piece of gear is. I'm like, there's Shred Shed. This right here. Because it's as isolated as I could afford to make it. You know, it definitely could be better, but it's like double walled, room within a room style thing. And my closest neighbor had no idea I even played music, which was
great. So you've done a really good job with the soundproofing.
Not good enough for my wife if she's trying to sleep, because that's like 4 feet away from the outside wall. But
gotcha.
But it definitely has made the family happier. I had all this stuff in my oldest son's room before he was born, and when he was on the way, it was like I got to do something else. It was a mad dash to build all this, but I didn't even know I was going to be doing this at the time. But anyway. Totally segued away. So you got the Gibson Grabber. What year?
So I think I haven't actually. It sucks. The screws are stripped on the back, and I'm really nervous to like bust them open and like actually see, because I think to like get the proper year. Someone told me they were so disorganized back in the 70s that like the necks and the bodies can have different year, and the body is generally more accurate. This is just what I've read. I think it's a 76, 74, 76, somewhere early-ish, well, I guess mid-70s. So, yeah, it's one of the very first. Maple body, it's awesome. I love it. And I didn't even know what I was getting into when I bought it. Like, apparently, like there can be a lot of neck issues with some of them, and this one has none of those issues. It's set up beautifully, although I'm going down the road of, like, modding it now. And it's actually so funny. So, obviously I was inspired by Ed's tone. It's just like, I've never been able to like communicate like how much I love his bass tone. And now that I've really got into like working with artists, like it's actually like fairly distinct. Like he has a really cool tone, and he's put a lot of thought into it, and which kind of explains why I've never been really able to figure that out. But yeah, he mods his basses with like a badass bridge.
Yep.
And I bought this guitar, and I spent like a decent amount of money on it, and I really didn't want to alter it because it is vintage, and I didn't want to like make new screw holes. So I actually found, I should shout out this guy. I gotta figure out his Instagram again. Argonaut. I believe. Argonaut Guitar Components, and he makes a bridge very similar to the Badass bridge that will fit like some of the old Gibson basses.
Okay.
Yeah, like the G3, the Grabber. And he was actually like not in production anymore. And I hit him up on Instagram. I'm like, bro, I really need this bridge. Like,
please.
Like, yeah. So he's like, I had enough parts to put one together. So I got one from him. Hopefully I'm not like screwing him over with a bunch of orders or anything. I mean, it's a pretty niche product, but I got one and it just arrived yesterday. So I'm so stoked to like try it out. But yeah, I'm going down that road. So it's been fun.
I think that's the way to go. I'm with you. Like I don't mind it when I get a vintage guitar or I see a vintage guitar that like somebody else modified. I'm like, oh, especially if it's done well. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's neat. It makes it kind of almost more interesting to me in a way. But I can't do it. I can't do unreversible mods myself.
Yeah,
I've got a handful of vintage guitars, and I'm like, and the ones that haven't been really modified, like my grandpa was 55 Junior, and even putting on a better bridge on it, like, because those wraparound ones are like the intonation's kind of off, and getting one that was better, I was still like, but it's not the original bridge. Even though you just slide it out and slide the other one in, I was like, but it's not the original bridge. As if that matters. Like, are you gonna sell it? No. Are you gonna play it? Yeah. Okay, put the better bridge on it.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by guitar nerds too. Like, there's a lot of guitarists at Musora, and they're like, "Bro, you cannot mod this thing. This is beautiful." Like, mine's pretty clean too. It's got some like belt marks on the back and a couple things like that. A few chips on like the headstock, but it's like in really good shape.
Yeah.
So
that's how nerdy is weird though, right? Because I'll see a really clean one and be like, "Oh, look how clean it is. This is amazing." And I'll see one that's beat to death, and I'm like, "Look how thrashed it is. It's amazing." Like,
yes. And it actually, like, I'm relieved in some sense because I'm having a hell of a time getting a case for it. Like, I've been trying.
Oh, yeah.
I've actually been looking to. I don't know if they actually are totally the same dimensions as the new Epiphone re-release, but I was trying to find one of those cases to see if it would fit. So yeah, but I've been just like carrying it around in my truck and to band practice. Like, I play with some buddies, and there's been a couple times where it's like you take a sharp corner, boom, and you're like, and then but you're like, oh, it's still beat up. It's okay.
It's okay. I've done the you get a blanket, wrap it in the blanket trick. Just like totally. I've done that for the caseless travels. It feels a little hillbilly, but I'm a little bit hillbilly, so that's fine.
Are you in Portland?
I'm just south of Portland. Yeah.
Okay, so you get a lot of rain there too.
We do. Yeah, I think we have pretty similar climates going on.
Yeah, that's been the problem for me, is the trip from the car to the practice space in the rain. And it's like,
Yeah. Not right now though. Right now it's hot. Yeah. I'm amazed. Amazed I have sleeves right now. It's too warm for me.
Yeah, it's beautiful here. Yeah. Same here.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I'll be in trouble if I don't ask. So, like, what are you playing that thing into?
Like nothing special. That's the next journey. I've actually it was Stu from Thursday. He and I like went down the rabbit hole on like his bass tone. He sounds great in that. And he's like, I think we had him on like a Helix for that shoot. So he was like just using modelers, but he told me all about the Rusty box. I don't know.
Rusty box.
Yeah. Are you familiar?
I am very familiar. That's also an Ed trick as well.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have been. This might have just been the reminder I needed to track one of those down, because every time I talk to Ed about it, he's like, "Did you get a Rusty box yet?" I'm like, "No. Why do I not remember this after the conversation?" But yeah. So
I'm freaking out a little bit because I just moved, and and they are doing an order of like 100 of them right now.
Oh,
But the order was delayed, and so I'm like, it's going to my old address, and I'm like, I've been going back and forth with I can't remember the guy's name who makes them, but he hit me up this morning. He's like, okay, tell me your new address. Where are you at? I'm like, oh, thank God.
Phew. Yes.
Gonna go to the right spot.
Yeah.
So I've got that coming.
This is what I needed. I'm glad that you brought this up because I need.
Good.
I gotta order one of these things.
Yeah, you do.
Mhm.
They sound so freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny that Ed does that too. Yeah, I think they're so sick. But yeah, like I'm just playing out of a PV like combo. I think it's like a 112 or something. Like whatever I had left over from high school is what
a listener gave
on.
me a PV TNT 100 one single 15 just randomly. They're like, I don't need this. You want it? I'm like, do I want gear? Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I plugged it in not expecting a whole lot. And I was going, actually, this thing kind of rips. It sounds really good.
Dude, it's actually not bad. Like, it sounds pretty crazy because these things go for like, I don't know, $200 or something. Like, they're so heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, right? Yeah. So, Canadian. I'm thinking Canadian.
Okay, Canadian. Yeah, that's probably about right. Yeah.
Yeah. And, but to me, it sounds pretty damn good. And I'm just getting into the whole world. Like I bought a Scarlett like a couple months back, and I'm just like finally starting to figure that all out and like getting online modelers and plugins and all that. So yeah, that's usually what I'm doing. But I definitely want to get like, I was messaging, I saw something on Reverb this morning, the SVT cab, and it'd be fun. We do some pretty good concerts here at Musora, I gotta say. Like our Christmas concert is insane.
I bet you do.
It's fun. I want to show off this year.
Yeah, I love it. That's incredible. The plugins and stuff, I can say one of my go-tos is the Mixwave. My brain just failed. What do they call that thing? It is the Ashdown plugin they did. I can't remember what they call it, but it's the one they did. I think they only did one with Ashdown. So whatever they call that plugin is such a versatile and makes me want to get one of the amps. Because it's like they're like YBM, I believe is how they call it. I'm not as much into the bass stuff. Don't yell at me, everybody. But it's super versatile amp, and I use that plugin all the time for bass stuff, and I highly recommend. I like the Mixwave plugins a lot in general, but that one's like a go-to bass plugin for me.
That's sick. Yeah, I still want to get into that world. I have the benefit of like having a lot of artists come through and like hearing exactly like how all this niche gear sounds. Yeah. And like even when we backline something, it's like, oh, we have that for an extra day, huh? I'm like, take that, go try that. That can be a lot of fun. So
that's so awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, dude, we are approaching the end of the main episode before we slide over to Patreon.
That went fast.
I know. I feel like we could probably go all day. Which, hey, if you had the time for.
Dude, I'll go whenever.
We'll do it. But before we get to the Patreon, before I get to the classic questions, I like to give the guests a chance to take the stage. You're talking to a few thousand people right now. You can shout out anything you want to shout out, plug anything you want to plug, say hi to your grandma, whatever you want to do. The floor is yours.
Sure. Well, I'll be a good boy, and I'll plug my amazing place that I work, Musora. We have an awesome lessons app. Excellent for beginners. You don't have to know anything to start playing any of the instruments. I think it's like the best place to like get started because it's got like a really cool curriculum for every instrument and kind of like tailors itself to what you want to learn. We did this awesome thing with Emily Wolfe, and that's a cool course. We're giving it away for free. Just if you sign up for a membership for like 7-day trial, you get it just for free forever. All you got to do is like make an account, and then you don't have to subscribe, but you get that course.
Sweet.
Yeah. And then also, Musora covers on the spot. That's my pride and joy. It's something I've had so much fun building over the last 2 years. And I just love the passion I see in the YouTube comments, and I do read them. So like people want bands, like it doesn't hurt to let me know who you want, because I go after it.
Tag those bands. Let them see it too.
Bands. Yeah. It works, man. It works. There's a lot of bands that have come and been like, hey, we saw this like thing. Like, are you guys accepting bands? And I'm like, of course.
Yes. Yeah. More, please bring them on. Yes.
For sure.
Seriously, go check this out. If you haven't seen any of this yet, it is some of the best content on the interwebs, in my opinion.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
I don't even watch a lot of YouTube, to be honest, but I do catch these. So, you know,
I don't watch a lot of YouTube either. Well, I do for work. Like I go and study, during work hours. But yeah, it's such a fun show. I love music. Anyone who loves music will find it very enjoyable.
Yes, I fully agree. All right, classic questions. First one, what is your favorite Boss pedal?
Oh, the Boss pedal question. I'm not a super nerd when it comes to Boss pedals. I actually wrote down the one that I wanted, and now I can't find it in the doc because I knew you were going to ask me this question. It's the one I wanted when I was a kid.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not here.
It's gone.
It's gone. I'm honestly, I'm just getting in this world, so I don't have like a favorite. What would you recommend to a bass player?
Oh man, it's hard to. I mean, this is a little spendy because it's like a vintage. They're kind of a vintagey pedal now, but the original like OC2 octave in the brown enclosure. I think there's other octave pedals that Boss makes, but like there's something gnarly about that one that I just kind of love. I love it on baritone and I love it on bass. And I think a lot of people, it's not, if you're looking for like, oh, it has the perfect tracking octave and it's so precise. No. This is gross. This is for making it gnarly. This is what that pedal does. I love it. It's really, it's a fun like riff machine. Like it makes.
Is it hard to get your hands on it?
They're not horrible. But I think they are coming up in price a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Let's give the people some usable content here. We'll Google it live. Let's see what that goes for on Reverb, the original one. They're not too bad. So like on Reverb, they're going from 180 to like 240. So yeah, not horrible. We're not talking Klon Centaur yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No kidding. Hey, that's a crazy. The one that I was told is a great pedal, and I don't know a lot about it, so maybe you could tell me a little more. Is the Boss PS3? Oh,
the PS3 is great. PS6 is great. They're pretty specific, and those are like they're octaves, and pitch shifters, but they're also they're different flavors. I probably use a PS6 a little more than the PS3, but I do like them both. And again, it's kind of like it's in that same. I actually made something with a PS6 that people thought was an OC2. But they were like, "Oh, I hear you got the OC2 going." I'm like, "Oh no, that's the PS6," which is funny because they're very different. They're very different how they operate. They're very different kind of technology, but you can kind of get into some of that ballpark depending on how you use it. The OC2 is a lot more simple.
Yeah. I mean, I've been like going too far down this rabbit hole, I think, without understanding that you can get like, you can really craft your sound with what you have. I think like this is the trap that a lot of like guitar players and maybe like overzealous bass players get into. Like they get into this, like I have to have this pedal to get this specific sound. But what I've learned is you can be very versatile just if you know what you're doing with the communication between the pedal and the amp and even the guitar.
It's true. Yeah. You can squeeze a lot out of what you already have, typically speaking. Or I've had people message me like, "How should I set my amp to get this sound?" I'm like, "Well, I don't even know what sound that is, so I'd have to go listen to it." And I appreciate everybody that reaches out, but I can't answer all those anymore. I'm sorry. Because the answer is go listen to it and tweak the knobs until it sounds kind of like that. That's the answer. But like, I remember this was several years ago. I was talking to somebody about this, and I didn't even know what song it was. So I listened to it, and I was like, "Oh, you got a Hot Rod Deluxe? Turn your treble all the way up and your bass mostly down. I bet you're close." And they were like, "That does sound pretty close." I'm like, "That was a random guess."
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of like wine tasting, It's like so nuanced, and there's like these people who can really do it, and they're incredible. But I feel like such a poser when I try and like get into that. Like I'm so new to it, I just can't even like distinguish the noise yet.
If it sounds good, it is good. If you like how it sounds, then whatever.
Hell yeah.
It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be the exact thing. It just has to, if you plug it in and you like it, that's all that really matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, but this is still coming from the guy who went out of his way to buy a grabber. So
I've went out of my way to do all this nonsense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand. You don't have to tell me. I get it.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, final question. What is your favorite kind of pizza?
Pizza.
Yeah.
My favorite kind of pizza, I'm going to go way back to my childhood. I had a friend, and maybe he'll listen to this because he's a guitar nerd. And we used to hang out at his house and watch music videos. And his mom would make us this insane shrimp pizza.
Shrimp
I know
pizza.
it sounds strange, but it had shrimp on it.
Mm-hmm.
It had bacon. It had like a kind of like a creamy garlic base.
Okay.
And it had sun-dried tomatoes. And it was just
That actually sounds
amazing.
Phenomenal. I could get into
I've been
that.
chasing that pizza ever since. I've never come over anything better than that. And when I brought it up to her, when I visited her years later, she's like, "Oh yeah, I lost that recipe." And I'm
like, oh no. But you have you remember the basic ingredients. I think this is something that can be recreated.
Yep.
Yep.
Shrimp, bacon, creamy garlic base, sun-dried tomatoes.
That sounds honestly very good. I'm
very
a big seafood guy. So one of my I've had clam pies in the past where it's like I always tell people when they're looking at maybe getting that, I'm like, if you're in the mood for pizza, don't get that. If you're in the mood for clam chowder, get that because it's more like clam chowder than it is what you're thinking of a pizza is. Like it's like it got a clammy sauce base and it's like a bread bowl that had the clam chowder in it, and you're kind of eating that. Good. That's kind of
bread bowls make everything better, dude.
Dude, I haven't had a bread bowl in a while. I'm getting all inspired right now. This sounds great.
I'm hungry. That's good. Awesome.
Well, Ron, thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you taking the time. We will slide over to Patreon and see what kind of trouble we can stir up over there, if that works for you.
Sounds great, man. Love it.
Cool. All right, everybody. For Ron, this is Blake. And as always, folks, good luck and good tones. Alrighty, folks, there you have it. There's another episode in the can. Make sure you go check out Covers on the Spot. You are going to find something that you really, really like. And speaking of things that you might really, really like, you've made it this deep into a Tone Mob episode. And so I hope you really like maybe hearing me blabber. And if you like hearing me blabber, well, guess what? I do a whole other podcast where I talk to my buddy Scott Marquardt about weird musical stuff. No, we're not talking about off-time things or theory things or anything like that. No, we're talking about weird musical stories like Charles Manson's musical connections. We're talking about weird musical stories like the Malaysian pop singer who happened to cut off a dude's head. It's not all blood and guts, though. No, we talk about the payola scandal. We talk about a lot of interesting musical topics over on Tape Spaghetti. And if you like that kind of thing, well, wherever you're hearing this podcast, Tape Spaghetti is available as well. And as long as Tone Mob is substantially bigger than Tape Spaghetti, well, I'll know not all of you have went over there and checked it out yet. So please do me a favor, type in Tape Spaghetti into whatever podcast platform you are on right now and scroll around to our 60 plus episodes and see if maybe there is something for you. I about guarantee there is. Alrighty, folks. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you on the internet very, very soon. Bye-bye.